Okay. So, what I plan to do today is to walk you all through the journey for Celanese, which has been in the making for, I would say, about 3+ years, 3.5 years. Um, what we have achieved, what we have done, and where we're heading in terms of digital transformation for Celanese. So, my name is Ibrahim. I lead the global digital transformation for Celanese in manufacturing. So, we have more than 50 plus manufacturing sites globally. We make all kinds of different products, very diverse in business. So our things go into like, paints, adhesives, electric vehicles, 5G, name it. It's mostly around us and in our everyday lives, which also poses a very complex digital transformation for us. Um, so I would say, a couple of years ago, we started really thinking about digital transformation, and it was around the time when we were really towards the end of the pandemic, and it really became real for us, where we really started thinking, how do we digitally enable our organization, where we're struggling to have the right amount of staffing at sites, people are getting sick. How do we access data remotely? How do we make decisions faster? And it really became for us real at that time, and we really started thinking about what digital transformation meant for us in Celanese, especially in manufacturing. And one of the things that started happening is when a company wakes up and talks about digital and they want to do something, you get surrounded by a lot of technology vendors, and they want to sell you all kinds of really good toys and products that you want to implement. And then you start building a spaghetti of things in your architecture. And quickly we started seeing this go out of hand, and we started taking a step back and really started asking ourselves, what is truly our aspiration and vision for Celanese? Where do we see ourselves in the next 15, 20 years as a company? And then really start thinking about, what are the capabilities that we need to support that vision, to support that operating model in that vision. And then how do these capabilities, whether it's people, processes, technology, and data coming together? And then we started really thinking about what is the digital architecture that we need to support that. And that was really important for us, because not only do we want to create value for our users and our business, we also want to make sure that our technology stack is also optimized and it doesn't have all kinds of spaghetti connections that are going all over the place, which can be very costly to maintain. So we started with really dreaming a very simple vision with our leadership. We aspire that we want our facilities to be predictable. Whether it's predicting failures, whether it's looking at forecasting things, we want more predictability in our production lines and our facilities. We want our plants to be more self-optimizing, and they're learning, they're adapting, and they're taking actions. And we also wanted to make sure that we were also looking for more remote and autonomous capabilities. And the vision was put together, and it was very real at that time. Do we really have the ability to support our plants remotely? Do we need to also look at where we can take work out, where we are doing repetitive and mundane activities, and really start automating those tasks? So it's good to come up with a really cool vision like this, but it really needed to have a business impact. And we looked at, what does this mean for an enterprise if we were to embark on that journey in several years down the road? What was that bottom line impact? I don't have the numbers here on that slide, but we really had to look at, if all of our facilities went down that road, what would that look like from a financial impact by making consistent, reliable products safely in all our facilities. And then, so we made up our dream, we got our aspirations, we got really excited, and then we started really asking ourselves, what are some of the guardrails and guiding principles that we need to put together? And one of the most important thing that I really passionately, talk about my digital transformation is what I call human-centered digital design. And why this is important is because more often than not, what ends up happening is, which we were doing initially, was when we start buying silo tools and technologies and applications, and you start then throwing that to your people, what you really start finding is that you're actually creating more inefficiencies in your workflows and your work processes. And maybe you're actually not generating the outcome that you promised you would generate the outcome, right? So think about an example like you have a pipe leak, right? You will have a tool to put an incident, management system to report it to authorities or your internal organizations. You will open up SAP or a CMMS system, put in a work notification so a repair can be done. You'll open up another tool like Shift Logbook, Shift Handover to put it there. You will put some emails out there. At the end, the work will get done when the supervisor will call somebody to get, fix the thing. But you created so much churn on one event and multiple systems are involved because those systems exist to please other people so that they can have that data to do what they need to do. So we really wanted to think, about how do we create a digital design where we put people at the center of everything that we do. It doesn't matter if your operating model has more people or less people. How do we ensure that we optimize, inspire, and really maximize our people? And that really is what human-centered digital design is. And to truly do that, we really need to start thinking about, a global digital platform where you can start separating data from all the siloed tools and really start creating the experiences that we want that would truly drive value for you, right? So at the end of the day, the value only comes when people actually use and adopt the digital capabilities that you implement. So if you don't build something around them, you will not get your value as much as you think you want to, and they won't use it. How many times do we implement tools and people have tons of workarounds that, Excel files flying around because systems are not letting them do what they want to do to be more efficient. So we embarked on a journey where we said, we partner with a company called Cognite and really start liberating data across our facilities. It didn't matter whether it was engineering data, whether it was operational data, whether it was quality, reliability, safety, incidents, financial data, all coming together so that our people can start making meaning of it. We can start contextualizing it so that we can start creating the things on the right-hand side of the slide. Really build that one-stop shop and really start creating the workflows that we need to execute work and do it in a way that we can optimize it for our people's roles and jobs, right? And it can be personalized so that every time we're doing something, we're doing it in the most optimal manner. We started really thinking about what did that really look like for us, right? So if really putting some visuals in it, like, I'm Ibrahim, I log into a system. What are all the things that I need to see for my role? How do I collect data? How do I surface the data? How do I put it in the right context, in the right time, in the right place, so that all our people can make better and faster decisions? One of the interesting things about this is when you build a product and you want people to adopt it, you want to get usability of that product, you do what you call market research or customer research. One of the things that we don't do in corporations internally is really understand our user behaviors. So we did some user research. We started thinking about what are some of the designs that we need to do around their people so that we can get what we want from a human-centric design. So then once we started doing that, if you look at it, the way we see our digital transformation in key layers, so the bottom is really the foundation that holds the whole thing together. Connectivity for us is quite important. We have a lot of different sites. We don't have internet everywhere, not in every location. We are also implementing private networks to help bring the data together. But the orange layer is where all the magic happens, where you start ingesting, contextualizing, transforming your data into meaningful use cases on the blue layer. And you can create tons of use cases, but they're all connected and tied together in this one single source of truth, which is the Cognite platform for us in the orange layer. And then, we like to put this green layer on the top, which is really how you start really creating the user experiences that you want to create for different personas, for your operating model, so that you can always ensure that you have the right data in the right time and the right place to make better and faster decisions. We also wanted to make sure that this is not just a visualization exercise, right? We don't want just data to be surfaced and make better and faster decisions. We also want to have the ability to take actions, right? Whether it's executing automatic actions or it's actually executing workflows from the same surface is what we aspired. So a lot of this is like bi-directional interface that we imagined. So I won't go through this, but I'll give you guys like one slide of what it has been for us in the last 3 years. So a couple of things you'll notice here. We really got started in 2022. One unit, one site, really started bringing data across a small subset of information sources like maintenance data, engineering data, some 3D models, and we then were quickly scaling that out for the rest of the year for the whole site, and then we saw significant value come out of that just by really enabling our people that to have access to data, and it was no longer locked up in places. We started making decisions and started generating value. The second year, we then took that to another level. We started scaling it across the entire enterprise. I would say about 30 plus sites, ingesting it, contextualizing it across the board for all sites. We started also, we completed an acquisition for some of the sites from DuPont, and we started really bringing those sites across. So last year, we were towards the end of the year, we were actually having all 50 sites ingested, contextualized, past 80% across our data sources, having a lot of the solution capabilities available across the entire enterprise. And the other thing that really became real for us was to start leveraging artificial intelligence. So because we were able to ingest data and contextualize it, we were able to build what we call the enterprise knowledge graph across all our facilities that was standardized, a data model that reflected maintenance, quality, incidents, financial data. And that really opened up the opportunity for us to really start thinking about, how do I live in a world where the steel of the facility starts talking to you and you can talk back to it? And we were able to quickly scale that kind of AI capabilities across the entire portfolio of manufacturing facilities. And that's what you see in the year 2+. We call that Joe AI. It's across the entire enterprise, powered by Cognite, Data Fusion, and also some components of Cognite Atlas AI. So I wouldn't expect you to look at all this, but there's a couple things here. In the last couple of years, we have more than 2.5 trillion records. Last year I was here in ARC, we were standing at about 500 billion. Now we're in the trillion range, and every day we're streaming millions and millions of records near real time across the entire enterprise. We have more than 5,500 unique users accessing the platform to do a variety of different workflows, whether it's analytics, whether it's applications, whether it's solutions. But we truly have this one foundation that's powering the entire ecosystem, which is also giving us the ability to leverage AI at scale. So having said that, trillions of records of data, all organized, all contextualized, all in one knowledge graph across the facility, really provided us the ability to start thinking about a world where AI at scale really can be transformed into a user experience that we call Joe AI, which is our co-pilot or assistant, that will eventually become the single point of interaction for whether you're executing tasks, workflows, surfacing data, and really start having conversation in natural language that you couldn't do before. We wanted to now start moving away from clicks, buttons, different screens, but really start having the most optimal experiences. Hey, how's my plant doing? What are the actions I need to do today? And Joe AI is enabling that because we have all the data from all the sites, across all the solutions, across all the data sources, and it doesn't matter what data type it is. And we see a world where we wouldn't see any more single siloed applications. You would just have a bot that helps execute tasks and gives you whatever you need, regardless of the roles that are involved. So I wanted to show you guys what that really looks like, right? So what you're seeing here is uh, the kind of magic you can do when you have contextualization and the knowledge graph come together. So, here we're asking a question as simple as show me a PNID for, a tank, which is V1682. Um, and it quickly, right, pulls up the list of drawings that it found. You can open it immediately. You're not opening a tool. You're not searching it anywhere. You're just asking it. Uh, Joe AI is also voice activated, so you can also have a conversation. You can quickly get to the information that you're looking for. Then you can also ask questions like, hey, what are some of the work orders associated with this vessel V1682 or time series? I think in this case, okay, I'm asking work orders. You could be a maintenance engineer, you could be an operator on the shift, and you want to know which work orders are open for this vessel. What do they need to plan for in that shift? And you can quickly start asking the bot. No need to open a CMMS or SAP or go hunting for it. The system in GeoAI found 2 work orders. It's clearly giving you what status, what information is available for that. If you're a production engineer and you're looking for information to, what are some of the time series, or if you're looking for pi or historian data that's associated with this vessel, you can quickly ask the question and really start getting the list of those time series that are available for that vessel. So in this case, it found a couple matches. It also gives you the trends. You can actually trend it. You can zoom in, zoom out from the bot. So this is really where we're heading as an organization, is single point of interaction where you can really start surfacing and having interactions that you need to not only do your daily work, but also execute actions, right? And the way it's built is that there are multiple agents involved that are really executing the different prompts that we're showing you here. And they're all coming together through one orchestration to create a very unified user experience. In this case, we're asking about anomalies in the utility system in a site called Clear Lake. And in this case, really, it's not just talking to data, it's looking at machine learning models that the agent has triggered to give you what the anomalies are in the utility system. So you can really look at, hey, here's the anomalies I found, here's the tags that are associated with it, here's the contribution level. And then, we also have the ability to say, hey, I need to create an action for Maren Matthew. She's a utilities production unit leader, so that they can start taking some action, right? So maybe I'm analyzing this in a back office and I need to create an action. And, Joe quickly creates the action for you, quickly starts, gives you the preview of what that action could look like. And if you're happy with it, it will submit it in the system. So in this case, the prompt didn't really work out the way we wanted it. So we're going to rewrite the question with an action item, and it will create the action for us. What we've done in the last last 1 year is really started eliminating hallucinations. So the way it does is like giving no answer is better than giving the wrong answer. So this is the approach we follow here in Joe AI, right? So you'll see soon an action item being created where, what we don't want to do yet is just blindly execute the action. It gives us the opportunity to look at it, and then it can submit it. Now, this is not science fiction. This is not mock-ups. You'll see that there's pop-ups happening. This is just a recording that I did in my production live system. So it is real. It is being used by thousands of people at Celanese, implemented in real, actually. You could also ask questions about if you're management, if you're leading the plant, what was the last injury, at the site, what was going on, and it will give you, if it doesn't have an injury, it will give you the closest match for the business line you're asking, and that's what it did. You can also ask questions around, generic Celanese knowledge, right? Where do we make certain products? If you're looking for more information, you can also look for KPIs. What is my PM compliance, the preventative maintenance compliance at the site? Um, so that's, I think I'm going to run out of time, so I'll give you some more examples. In this case, and this was really interesting for us, is here we're looking at, if you're doing field walks or Gemba walks or safety observations, you can quickly upload pictures of your facility. In this case, we're uploading a picture of our Pensacola plant in Florida. And you can really start asking Joe to recognize what's going on in that image, right? So you can ask questions around what hazards do you see. It also gives you suggestions of questions you can ask. Sometimes we look at an equipment like this, we think it's a pump, but actually, we asked Joe AI to clarify what equipment is this, and it told us that it was actually an extruder, which was the correct answer. That's what we have at that facility. I'm going to do some fast forwards here. Another thing that's, you can ask for hazards. You can look for potential reliability issues. In this case, this is a very good one. You could have a brand new rotating equipment engineer joining your facility. And, we're overhauling a pump. We open it up. We look at the pump shaft. We take a picture of that pump shaft. We describe it to Joe AI. What were the findings? Where was this found? It was found in a running plant. What was the damage mechanism for this kind of shaft? So typically what would happen is you would go to experienced folks to get all this assistance. In this case, you're now actually having that knowledge with your Joe AI, and you can really start having that conversation with your new co-pilot Joe AI, right? So in this case, the person actually describes exactly what the findings are, what the picture is, and really asking Joe, hey, what is the damage mechanism for me? Can you quickly tell me about that? And I think surprisingly and quite pleasantly surprised that it actually gives you the right answer, and it says it's fretting corrosion, right? So we're also closing the gap between new engineers that are coming into your facilities and learning cycles, because now you have an assistant that is really guiding you in your jobs. You can start talking about repair methods, upgrades, and all of that works out pretty interestingly. The third thing that I don't think I have time to share cases, the Joe AI can also be your troubleshooting assistant, right? It can also be on the ground with an operator. You're having a low flow in the pump. What should I be doing? And it will start giving you practical steps that you can actually execute in the field based on what are the symptoms you're describing. It won't be things like if you go to OpenAI or ChatGPT, open up the pump or replace this and replace that. It will be, purposeful things that you can actually execute at the facility at that pump. So that's what we call the troubleshooting agent. That was actually built with Cognite Atlas AI. And the journey continues. So this what you're seeing is there are some examples. They exist at scale for a facility. We have thousands of people using that. And this magic is only possible because we have a platform, we have a knowledge graph, and we were able to build all those agents that are really creating these experiences for us and generating value for us at scale. So with that, I'm done, right? Yeah.